Holy cow! Welcome to another edition of the Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Eric Cedarstrom, Hamburger Helper, and we are live this morning on this 21st day of May, 2020, Thursday. And it's a great day to be alive for all of us pandemic survivors, and I hope this finds you well, no matter what form or state of concern you are under. And we appreciate you taking time out of your busy lives to allow us into it. This show is the Patriot Radio News Hour, brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group. Legal, lawful, constitutional tender, things that are real, things that you can feel and touch, things that you can actually put away that don't show up in a computer statement or in your mailbox. Protect your tomorrows with something that wasn't born yesterday. Call 1-800-951-0592, or you can head out on your computer. You can do it at www.allamericangold.com. Updated with prices, news, comfort the disturbed, and disturb the comfortable. It does it all. It'll dance at your wedding, send your mother-in-law home, make excuses for unwanted lipstick on your collar, and best of all, allamericangold.com never needs ironing. I'm joined with Joe Jaquint, president of All American Gold and Patriot Trading Group. And I hope you're doing well. I know you're having a little pain. You got shoulder pain. You're getting old. Joe's starting to amble. I actually nicked my face yesterday with the edge of my door. I kind of forgot all about it. I got a blood blister on my lip, and I look like Gorbachev. Joe's holding his arm. He looks like Quasimodo. He's going to ring the bell for Notre Dame this year. How you doing, man? Good morning. So.
Listen, that was worth the price of admission right there. Just that intro right there. If you are not entertained, nothing's going to... Here's the bad thing. So I started physical therapy for this shoulder problem yesterday. And what he told me was, you sitting is causing this problem.
That's what it is.
Yes.
So
you sitting and looking at your computer while you're at work all day. Yes. So now sitting is now causing me problems.
Well, they say that, you have the opposite now of athlete's foot.
It started when I always said, you're getting older when you wake up from sleeping and you're like, right, and you're in agony because you slept wrong. Now, sitting is causing me the issue.
Well, they say sitting is the new smoking. So that's what they say if you sit around and don't do anything. I do notice, though, your hump is starting to grow. You're going to start going, yes, master. Poor Joe. Joe's messed up. I said to him, go home. He can't sit. You know how it is. Being in pain is just les miserables, man. You can't get comfortable no matter where he's walking around. He sits for a second, gets up. I feel your pain.
There's no comfortable position right now.
I'm 3 months into, how many broken ribs, we're not sure. But, they, the first couple of months, they said, well, how are you doing? I go, well, it only hurts when I stand up, sit down, or lay down. Other than that, I'm fine. So as long as I bend over, and crawl around the place, but that's neither here nor there. How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing, man? It's heading into Memorial Day. I think today's the last full trading day, and they've window dressed everything just for you. So you need to get out there, get shopping, get spending money, and do the American thing.
Right.
You've got to support the buy-in economy.
You got to do it right now. Put it on those credit cards that you're not paying the bill anyway, so charge it up. But I want to remind everyone, we are closed Monday. So
Amen,
we are closed Monday. I need some time off, heal up. So you've got today and tomorrow to get it done.
I'm going to refinance my mortgage into a no-interest loan. I have no interest in paying them back. I'm just going to join the club, Everything's going to be free from here on out. And we've got a great show lined up for you. So, they're talking about, yes, don't worry this morning. We've got inflation covered. It's fine. We don't see any inflation until 2050. This is the news. I go, 2050? What do you think a new Suburban? 30 years ago was 1990. A new Suburban was $17,000. 30 years later, $87,000. If you want to go buy one, nobody will buy one. You people listening won't buy one. I won't buy one. I've had 2 new Suburbans in my life. We have a Suburban that has 242,000 miles on it. We just keep it.
Yeah, we have an Escalade that's got 225,000 miles on it.
Nobody's buying. I'm not going to do it. I went down there. We all do it. All right, I'm going to get a new one. You look at them and you're like, are you out of your mind?
I don't care how much you love your wife. Not doing it, honey.
Crazy. The number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits rose again last week as backlogs in processing claims continue to be cleared and disruptions from the novel coronavirus unleashed a second wave of layoffs, pointing to another month of staggering job losses. It happened again. Where are we at now?
It's 38.6 million. But again, get ready. This is going to be one of these, what I'll call the rolling numbers. Before this coronavirus shutdown, the largest number ever was like 680,000 jobs.
Jobs ever. Right.
So, he's sitting here at 2-point-some million.
That's what it was this week, 2.7 or 2.4.
2.4
Only
2.4,
yes, filed this week.
And we got more companies today. Rolls-Royce saying they're laying off 9,000 for the engines for airplanes because no one's ordering airplanes. L Brands, that's Victoria's Secret. 250 more stores are going to close there, and
wait, say that again. Who was that?
Victoria's Secret.
Oh, they figured out their secret.
Yeah,
they ain't got no money.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think they got any interest in paying the rent.
No interest. They got a no interest.
They got it all covered,
and we got no money. You want to buy a bra, sir?
And then the story of the week, Moderna. Remember, Dow was up almost 1,000 points on the quote-unquote...
On Monday.
Yes, the vaccine cure. That stock's lower than when it started the week.
Why didn't the Dow go down 1,000 today?
Well, maybe it will.
They don't have a cure. Hydroxychloroquine. Turns out millions of people have taken that. We'll be back.
By now the fighting will be close at hand.
Mike of the Mechanics, silent running. By now the fighting might be close at hand. A little Mexican guy shot up the mall here in town last night, so they're not breaking the stories. They're not releasing his name. I saw another news outlet identified him. Of course, he filmed it on Facebook, so, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. The gun control lights will come out, but I'm sure if you look, he's on some sort of medication somewhere, which the big pharma gets a pass on the socioeconomic destruction of America.
He must not have gotten his trophy. He got upset.
Yeah, something. So I saw that there was a Facebook filming that he showed he had a beer. He's a Hispanic kid. He's got a beer and a rifle in the back seat, and he pulls into the mall parking lot and says, "Let's do this." Now, a senator was there, apparently at the mall.
State representative.
State rep was there, said he had an AR-15, but, I mean,
he's the worst shot in the world, if that's the case.
He must be, yeah, because I think one might be dead, 3 injured, but they said the kid just gave up when the cops pointed at him. Anyway, we'll see. The news is spotty at best. I was on the treadmill this morning listening to the local. They might as well have interviewed me. I was sleeping. Nobody knows. The cops won't say anything because you got to be careful. There's a lot of things. Just get ready. So the world is just going crazy, but you got to love this one. You got to love this. The market now, this is how they're able to get gold down $20 and hold Wall Street together this morning. The market sees inflation well below the Fed's target of 2% until at least 2050.
Now, who's the market exactly? Who is this?
I'm sorry if you're like me and you've got an IQ higher than room temperature and you just spit coffee out your nose. Really? 2050?
We just spent like $10 trillion in 5 seconds.
In 2050, the current monetary system won't exist, A. And B, if it did, which I highly doubt, what would the debt be? I mean, we're $10 trillion a year. I mean, maybe $20 trillion here this year.
3 months ago, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, said that the deficit was going to hit $30 trillion in 2030. Of course, we're going to hit $30 trillion in 2020. I mean, they missed it by a little bit, and I know COVID and all that. But they're also trying to tell you that Social Security is going to be out, and I don't know what their new number is. I think it's 2033 or 2032. Somebody came out today, Eric, with a new number. It's not a government bureaucracy. It is the Bipartisan Policy Center using Social Security's own financial model says already the date is 2029 and declining. But I already told you, 2025 is the number. That's where my bet is.
2025 what?
Is the year Social Security, the trust fund that doesn't exist, will be gone.
Well, it's already, full of NMS's non-marketable securities, the money not being paid in now. I mean, could you imagine? Now I think, is there going to be tax forbearance? Is this going to be a tax forbearance year?
I forgot all about it, right? So it's supposed to be like July now.
Right.
Right?
So they're just going to
Why not?
Well,
Ollie income free. Forget about it. Nobody pay.
Why pay?
I mean, what's another, what is that, about $3 trillion? What's another $3 trillion?
You know what you should do? They should take the Horseshoe Casino in Vegas. You take your tax return over there, and you can, double it.
You can spin the wheel.
Which you can revive Vegas, and you got a shot at no taxes this year. So
Trump's going to go in, open up Vegas at the MGM, and the first thing he's going to do is put $3 trillion down on spin the wheel.
So you think about these pinstripe bandits got the unmitigated audacity to tell us inflation's going to be 2% for all the way to 2050.
Wait a minute, below
2.
Below that.
Well, then that's the Great Depression.
Right.
So then we're heading into a Great Depression. So now everybody is quite pompous with the plunge protection team, the equity markets, the miracle cures. Now we've had 2 Mondays in a row, Gilead and what was the other one?
Moderna.
So we've had 2 miracle cures worth 2,000 points on the Dow.
Well, Monday's a holiday, so
Monday.
Are we going to take this Monday off? Are we not going to get a miracle cure?
It'll be Tuesday. So
okay. I can't wait for it.
So you've got all this incredible monetary stimulus. Nancy Pelosi is speaking now, or she finished, I don't know, about the HEROES Act, which can't get any press. It's pretty weird, don't you think, about the whole thing? So, where that's heading, are they really going to throw another $3 trillion into the economy? You have to look at it and say, well, it must be working. All the money's ending up at Walmart, so they're saying. Walmart or Costco is where all the stimulus money is ending up. So, but the unprecedented monetary and fiscal measures unleashed around the world may lead to weaker long-term growth and currency debasement, according to J.P. Morgan. Now, yesterday we had the hedge fund managers. Now, J.P. Morgan. Now, J.P. Morgan's, their spokesman, John Norman, wrote in a report that watch the Japanese yen and the value of gold rather than the dollar to risk the surge of inflation. Now, what's interesting is, and I thought this is twice now, 2 days in a row that we've had mainstream media use the 4-letter word gold. They don't like
that word.
Yesterday, of course, it was a hedge fund manager out of Europe saying that it's most likely that, and again, when they say demonetize gold, a guy called me and says, well, gold's not monetized. I mean demonetize it in a psyche way. You don't want it. It's not money. And this is what they like to do. Always vilify your enemy. And gold is the enemy of equity.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I had an email. A customer was asking, what would prevent the government from saying all gold?
Right.
Right?
Nothing.
Stroke of a pen.
Right.
The government can do what it wants. Now, something very interesting as we were talking about, the legislation from 33, then Nixon closing the gold window in 71, Ford legalizing gold ownership in 74, all the way to Ronald Reagan when we started getting the Gold Eagle Act.
And the TEFRA laws.
Yep. One of the other things that was changed in 1974 was that they could not use the economy as a reason for the president to use executive power to confiscate gold.
Well,
they only war, but they can change that as well.
Only war to recall gold?
Only war is if today, the way the law stands today, the best I understand it, the president via executive order could recall gold because of war, but could not recall gold because we're in the Great Depression again.
Well, the original executive order started out to relieve the existing national emergency in banking.
Right.
So they can't do that again.
They can't do that, at least right now because they put that in there.
Did the president declare war on the COVID virus?
Ooh. He did do the War Production Act.
He did. So now, why didn't they take all the gold in the first place? That's the question people ask. Oh, they'll take it all, so I'm just going to buy gold bars and whatnot. No, they don't. Because they profited. You could own gold for the 40 years while the rest of the public couldn't if you had the right gold. Nobody knew the executive order. Nobody knew what was in it. They had to pass it. They didn't know. But the guys that wrote it said, here's what we're going to do.
We got to pass it to know what's in it.
You people with Indians and princesses and really nice St. Gaudens and old liberties, guess what? You can put those away. Not only can you keep them, but you can sell them and don't have to tell anybody. And then they reiterated the laws in the 80s and yada, yada, yada. Here we are again, 2020.
And I think that's the one thing that I would say is when you look at the laws, and 33, 71, 74, 86, they've reaffirmed this 4 different times now. So, is there anything to prevent the government from
So they need to have war. It has to be war to be able to recall gold,
but
to stabilize a monetary system.
But they never changed it as far as the pre-33 gold, which we're telling you this is one of the main reasons behind non-confiscatable. We say that all the time. Right. They've reaffirmed it.
Yeah, I believe they have.
At 4 different times.
Well,
so,
again, you can buy and sell them very anonymously. So if you think about that, and then you think about did the president declare war on the coronavirus? So we could be seeing this ultimately. And again, J.P. Morgan says the same thing. He goes, what currency are you going to run to? Okay, where are you going to go?
Yes, we're all running to the yen.
Yeah, he says, they were kind of making fun of it, but they grouped the G10, and they're just looking. They're looking. Every economy is shut down. They're all debt laden. Their money is all floating fiat currency globally. And now they're talking about, again, the debasement of all of them, and the U.S. dollar. So given the huge financing burden now carried by the U.S., this is, let me see where this article came out of. J.P. Morgan this morning on Newsmax.
It was probably a client note. Or they're the big hitter clients, the ones that, if you got $1 million or more with J.P. Morgan, we're gonna give you
it's exactly what it is. So they intercepted some of this. This is you're exactly right. This is goes out to their preferred clients. They said those who see in the major currencies just different shades of the same term, long-term liabilities. Okay, so you look at every country all around the world and all their paper money. So J.P. Morgan this morning is saying the same long-term liabilities. Here's what they say the answer is.
You can throw pension plans in there. You can throw Social Security in there, Medicaid. These are all long-term liabilities.
You're not going to believe this. This is amazing. This is J.P. Morgan Chase this morning. I'm going to say it again. I have a second here. Those who see in the major currencies just different shades of the same long-term liabilities should simply remain long the world's legacy reserve currency, gold, they wrote. Wow, it's a Bloomberg News. I'm sorry. Here it is. It is on Bloomberg News article this morning. J.P. Morgan just told their elite customers to buy gold. And gold's down $20 today, so they're going to pave the way.
That's how they buy it.
That's how you do it. They pave the way for them. Wow. 1-800-951-0592. A new word is coming back into the American dictionary, the zombie companies. Now America's zombie companies are multiplying and fueling new risks as the Federal Reserve pulls out all the stops to bolster the credit markets. And the front page of the Wall Street Journal this morning. Wow, this is another one. These things are just coming out. This is the front page this morning. The day the coronavirus nearly broke the market. And this is where you had the negative oil that day, and then the equities were just collapsing, and people were like, they didn't know what to do. Everything was locked up completely, and the article goes on to say that just about every market, from equities to commodities to the bond market, the debt markets, about shut down all at once. And they were able, the negative on oil when it started going negative, that the COMEX, the Crimex, we read a story where they canceled, because you can't have negative oil on an exchange. You can't have negative. You can't have it. But they let it go anyway, and it just demolished anyone who was long. It just destroyed them.
Right, margin calls,
just destroyed them. I mean, they canceled all the negative trades. This is how crooked all this is. So they only let it go to zero. So there was a guy that had $77,000 in his account. Joe and I read the article. I forgot to do it on the air. And by the end of the day, he had $77,000 in an open account long oil. By the end of the day, it was down $2.3 million. How about that? They canceled. They wiped out the $77,000. They let the trades go to zero, but you cannot have negative commodity prices. You can't have it. So now you think about gold. You think of these are the. Oh, by the way, gold's traded on the same exchange as the guys who canceled the negative. So, and silver. I mean, silver, the most manipulated commodity exchange market ever in the history of finance. That you look at, try buying anything made of silver. That's the real price of silver is $25. Everybody
knows
it.
$25 an ounce.
$25 an ounce. Everybody knows it. You got oil prices again starting. I hate to be right. I called it when oil was negative $40. Then I said, get ready.
Almost $34 already.
Yeah, I called it right here. Get ready.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a national volunteer organization founded by Phyllis Schlafly and continuing to uphold her legacy by opposing radical feminism and representing a traditional conservative perspective in our nation's capital. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
The eagle is a gorgeous and most impressive bird. It's no wonder it was chosen to be honored as the American bird. I've been blessed to live in an area where eagles congregate every winter. They come down 3 rivers, the Mississippi, the Missouri, and the Illinois, and Alton, Illinois is about as far south as many of them care to go in the winter. It's a federal crime to kill an eagle. It can result in a fine of up to $250,000 and imprisonment for 2 years. Over the past 2 decades, the federal government has prosecuted hundreds of cases against oil and gas producers and electricity producers for violating some of our wildlife protection laws, the Migratory Bird Treaty Act and the Eagle Protection Act. But there's one way that dozens of eagles are killed every year without any punishment. They are killed by the windmills we are beginning to see almost everywhere. The wind energy industry seems to have a license to kill golden eagles and lots of other migratory birds. It's not an official license, but they have not been prosecuted. The Los Angeles Times reported that about 70 golden eagles are being killed every year by the wind turbines at Altamont Pass near Oakland, California. A study funded by the Alameda County Commission Development Agency estimated that about 2,400 birds of various kinds, including owls and red-tailed hawks, as well as 7,500 other birds that are supposed to be protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, are being killed every year by those windmills near Oakland. This is such a double standard about killing endangered species that there must have been an okay from the top not to prosecute the windmills for violating wildlife laws. Windmills should not be allowed to kill our eagles.
Thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report. You'll be glad to know the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly continues, upheld by Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, chairman Helen Marie Taylor, treasurer John Schlafly, a full staff in St. Louis and our nation's capital, and thousands of citizen volunteers, her Eagles, across the country. You can be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. That's phyllisschlafly.com.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Eric Cedarstrom. Helps when you turn the button on. Started to talk about these zombie companies now. The Federal Reserve, of course, pulled out all the stops. Everybody's getting money and got money, and they're doing what they can. From Carnival Corporation, Marriott, really, should Carnival have been bailed out? I mean, I don't.
Of course not. Of course not.
It's crazy. I mean, I know they didn't do it, but, we were going to run a contest here on the radio station up in Colorado where first prize, because they're just giving it away. You can go now on a 4-day Carnival cruise for like $80 or something.
Yeah, it's...
Which was normally like $1,200.
I remember the 8-day cruise. You go on the 8-day cruise for like $500, right? And an 8-day cruise is like $8,000,
right? Right,
for $500.
We were going to just have a contest. Give a liberal a cruise contest. You can send them out there. So first prize is 3 days on a Carnival cruise.
Pick your favorite person in Boulder and send them out a cruise.
Send them out. So yeah, first prize is 3-day cruise. Second prize is 2 weeks. Third prize, they could be out there for months. I mean, they get one more breakout. Who would get on one of these? I mean, really? I mean, they don't obviously haven't seen the news. I think there's still some floating out there that they won't let dock.
Well, the employees are stuck out there.
They're stuck out there floating. Yeah, come on out and get on. What the hell? You go water skiing if you want. We don't care. So, I don't know. So from Carnival Corp, Marriott International, Delta Airlines, Gap, Avis Budget Group. Avis is done. Hertz is done. They're waiting. All Hertz is going to pay default on every one of their debt.
Big defaults are coming. Hertz is one of them. They
already missed their payments on their leased cars.
Yeah, and they've canceled all the orders for new rental cars, obviously, because nobody's renting them.
I hate to tell you, ladies and Germans, or just germs again, sorry, I'll get it right, that I want you to look around today on this Memorial Day. These are the good old days. Because the chickens are coming home to roost. They're going to pave over it best they can, paper everything, hand money out. I mean, now you got the $3 trillion stimulus, and McConnell's going, we're going to cut the unemployment stipend.
We've been waiting. We haven't heard a lot of news since the House last Friday passed that $3 trillion bill. Mitch McConnell today saying the next bill, so already admitted there's going to be another bill. The next bill will not include an extension to the extra $600 a week and unemployment benefits.
Now, Nancy Pelosi wants to let it go till Christmas. So till the end of the year.
And that $3 trillion, that was another part.
I think it's really kind of holding the economy together, but because nobody knows what's going to happen. Again, these businesses that we're reading out, the companies that are hardest hit by the corona virus outbreaks, they've also sold, while all this was going on, they sold a lot of stock, they monetized stock, and an incredible amount of bonds and loans. I mean, the debt market and the Federal Reserve has put all these corporations, propped them all up.
Right, they've bought them. The Federal Reserve bought these bonds, these distressed bonds and the like to keep what they're saying, we're just trying to keep the market operating efficiently. That's what they were saying. And really what they were saying is, hey, we're going to buy these bonds because nobody else will. And, of course, we heard on Jay Powell and Steve Mnuchin testifying in front of Congress earlier this week, hey, we're going to take losses on that. We know that. It's okay. So what?
Well, it's, again, never mind these business models that have been wiped out. Their business operations aren't viable. And, again, Carnival, Marriott, hotels, airlines, rental cars, all of them. All of them. I mean, it's amazing how they're trying to sell this to you. But, again, we told you this was going to happen. I believe that they're just – well, I'm a little worried now. I'm a little worried that the only way to keep the illusion going here is, paper so much money, throw money at every facet of the economy. Don't miss any of them. Throw it everywhere, rich, poor, middle, everything, businesses, 1099, private gigs, everything. Support it all with trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and then pray for a vaccine. Otherwise, the whole world is going to turn into Argentina. I mean, it's just what's going to happen. So here they're propping up these non-viable businesses, and yet as the expectations, they did it all because of the V-shaped economic recovery that is vanishing rapidly. More and more industry veterans are starting to express concern about these debt dynamics. Some warn that the Fed is putting credit markets on course for a future wave of massive defaults and makes the current stretch of corporate bankruptcies look very timid by comparison again. This Memorial Day, I sincerely hope I am dead wrong with my prognostication that remember this Memorial Day, because you'll
this
tell
is-
your grandkids these are the good old days.
This was the Big Bang. This is going to be the one last party. Is that kind of what you're saying?
This is it. By Labor Day, I mean the wipeout, the economic wipeout in this country, 35% unemployment. I mean, it's just how can it keep going? The real estate markets are now finally starting to show year-over-year existing sales down 18%, biggest drop on record.
Prices holding in, though.
Prices holding in. So, well, again, there's not a massive influx of
inventory
because, again, now I think there should be a relocation tax put on New
love
Yorkers
this.
and
Hold on a
California.
minute. I love this idea. Can we throw Illinois in there too,
Okay,
please?
Illinois too. So Chicago, Illinois, New York, and California. If you want to move to Arizona, $20,000.
I like it.
$20,000.
Right off the top.
Right off the top. Before you even $20,000 to turn on your utilities.
Just to get in.
Right. Otherwise, we don't want you. Get the hell out of here. So you bring all your liberal policies with you, and there's a big article about the young join the rich now of getting out. I mean, they just want out of the big cities. Do you blame them? I mean, here they got a gal, Desiree Duff, lost her bartending job in late March when the New York restaurant where she worked at closed along with the rest of the city. She's 29 years old, an aspiring actress, left her apartment in Brooklyn's Bushwick neighborhood and moved back with her parents in South Carolina. So my wife's taking calls daily from New Yorkers right now. Daily. Phones ringing, looking for rental properties in Arizona. I mean, it's just the country may tip over as everything comes out west. So I don't blame them.
The earth is spinning unevenly now.
So now, cities from New York, San Francisco locked down in recent months to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The residents have decided they'd rather wait out their pandemic elsewhere. While the wealthy have settled into their second homes in the Hamptons or Lake Tahoe, many young people now are leaving the expensive shoebox apartments to shelter with their parents in the suburbs.
You are absolutely delusional. We have no perception of reality, and they don't show it on the news. But you go to New York, you go to San Francisco, L.A., the lines at these food banks
it's horrible.
are they're catastrophic. You think about the Great Depression, and that's what you see in your history books. The soup lines or the bread lines, they're here.
They're back.
They're just not showing them to you.
Crazy, man. Crazy. You guys stay sheltered in place. Put a quarter in the meter and walk the dog. We'll be back.
But I'm not gonna let 'em catch me, no. Not gonna let 'em catch the midnight rider.
Greg Allman was married to Cher for a while. Love that song. You got one more silver dollar, man. You can still move around. I hope we don't get to that. So you're listening to the Patriot Radio News Hour. Elon Musk is sending a spaceship. We haven't been able to do that since 2011. NASA. I mean, Boeing can't build anything that flies, but Tesla can send one up. So I don't know. It's a crazy world. Now, if you're up there, it's going to be like Alien. How do you know they don't have the coronavirus in there? Gets up there and infects the place. So I don't know. You think a lot of people like to get on that plane and just get out of here? So you're listening to the Patriot Radio News Hour. I made a joke. A lot of weird things that happen we say around here comes to fruition. I made a joke about restaurants making the plastic cubicles. We were kind of laughing. They could bring your food in on a conveyor belt and stuff. Yeah, guess what?
It's here.
It's here. A romantic dinner for two. The wine is excellent. The food's delicious. It's almost like the good old days, except for the giant see-through lampshades on your heads. For restaurant owners, worry how they can welcome back customers and keep them safe from the evil COVID-19. Which, by the way, my coronaphobia is fading. I don't care anymore. I mean, everywhere you go, I had to go get something for my RV yesterday at Freightliner, and Freightliner won't let you in without a mask, So I had to put it on, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking around, and you just feel stupid. And you wonder, So now anything you touched, I had gloves and a mask, and I'm trying to get a part, and I had touch this and touch that, and you go outside, and I put the part in the back of the truck, and then you have to reverse all your steps. Okay, now the gloves have to come off. Okay, I haven't touched the mask. I haven't touched door handles on the car. Okay, but I did touch the handles on the camper on my truck, the canopy shell. So now I got to disinfect that, disinfect this, that. Oh, man, I touched my phone while I was in there and my keys. Now, I'm like, what? I got to disinfect the keys. But then I used my hand to open the door before I disinfected it. So, I mean, I'm giving up. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to take our medicine, right? So, I mean, this is the world where, I looked at my granddaughter last week. We were getting a battery for our 240,000 mile Suburban, and she's a great kid. Emma, if you're listening, little Emma, she's 4 years old. When I work on anything with Grandpa, she has to be there. Like to take the battery out of the Suburban, first I had to turn over a box for her to stand on because she has to supervise it all. I mean,
and
she holds all the parts and the tools, and she's right there with me. And then when I looked at her with her mask on in O'Reilly's, and the thought that vision is in my head still about how sad of a world that we're in. This globalism has come back to just. I told everybody that this was the NAFTA and GATT. I chronicled the whole thing every day, and we went through it all together, and we watched the socioeconomic, systematic destruction of a country. Now the only thing left is debt. And all the quote-unquote conservatives, it doesn't matter who you are, liberal, Republicans, are all waiting for a government check. And it's the only thing that's going to save it. It's the only thing that'll save it until, A, it's free to travel again, or B, we all just let it go. The country defaults, everything defaults, people get sick. If it kills, however many, 1 million people or whatever, so be it. It happened before, it'll happen again, and just get it over with and done. But the country as we know it will not survive. They have mismanaged that. This country was self-sufficient. Everybody owed us money. We built everything. All the intellectual property was done here, and it's gone. We gave it all away. They gave it away. So whether it be a calamity of errors or a highly organized, systematic attack, the end result is going to be the same. It's very sad. So pray for our president, pray for the United States of America, but there is a very, very high probability that you are witnessing the end of this country as we know it. 1-800-951-0592. So if you go out to dinner and you get into the plastic bubble, how bizarre is that? So, it would just be so weird. They have a picture of it. It looks like, when you go into the frozen sections of the grocery stores, those big plastic things that hang, that you got to go through, now they've just made a box out of them. So, wouldn't you have to have its own ventilation system? I don't know. And how do you know who's been there before? So,
are they made here in the U.S., or do you got to get the plastic from China?
Did you see that yesterday? Trump was out here. They're touting Honeywell, and he came out and visited Honeywell, is retooling, and they're making masks. So now the Honeywell here in Phoenix is now a textile mill. It's better than making it in China. So at least it's here. I'm sure it's Chinese parts or paper or God knows what they're using to assemble. But Honeywell's announced layoffs. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh,
see
yeah.
that.
So now the people are irate. And my wife and I were listening to the news last night. We're like, duh. You don't need aerospace engineers to build masks, okay?
They're like, wait a minute. You're making $80,000 a year. We can get this person for $12.
Here, staple this rubber band on this mask. So yeah, they're laying off that. Come on.
Oh, they're going to do it now. Here, this month, they're laying them off.
Yeah, Honeywell's announced layoffs. So, the whole aerospace industry's broken. So, I imagine my guess for the summer is 20 to 25% of flights from last summer. It's probably going to be what it is. So you're talking about a 75% retraction in business there. All tourism across the board, they're saying 75 to 80% retractions. And it'd be fine. You can put it out. A lot of people are going to be fine. People that have plenty of money, and if you're a corporation, you got plenty of money, you don't have debt, and you own everything, you're fine. If you got debt, debt's the scourge of the world. So if you got debt, you just can't function. So what happens? You're going to go under. So now you got Disney trying to open. This will be interesting. They're very quiet about Disney Shanghai.
There has not been much on. We covered the opening. Very quiet.
So
They announced hey, we opened.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, and they had all the cameras and everybody.
Right.
Look, here the little Chinese, Asian kids running around and blah, blah,
well,
blah,
I
blah,
think
blah.
in Orlando they opened the restaurant area, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to open here, so I don't know. It's a mess of epic proportions. Debt-laden societies never pay off their debt. They always default. If they don't default, then and the companies can't pay back their loans, then the government ends up owning all the companies. Part of a plan or a calamity of heirs. Patriot Radio News Hour final segment. Yeah, you see your little 4-year-old grandchild in a mask. You just very sobering as to what kind of society where this country's heading. Very sad. So Fauci's gone. That guy's vanished. Nobody, they're asking what happened to him. We haven't seen him on
COVID.
the air. Yeah. So, well, they said he was in lockdown or something, but he's done. Him and his ridiculous prognostications. And the good news is, most of us. I mean, if you're a boomer and you're following me, we're too old to die young.
Well, hey, you got that going for you.
Trump is losing every poll again.
Which means he's won.
Right. Have you seen any poll that has Trump winning?
I just saw it again today. He's totally lost. I'm like, oh, he wins.
And the supply lines are already broken, and I'll tell you how I know. Some guy went crazy and shot out the windows at the FBI building here. It's been a month now.
They're still
all boarded up, so they can't get the windows replaced. My wife's got a house sold that needs a bedroom door, a 3-panel door, and they keep telling her at Home Depot, oh, yeah, it'll be in next week from China. I told her it's not coming. She goes, you're a catastrophe. I go, it's not coming. They keep telling her now it's been a month, every week. Oh, it'll be in next week. It's not coming. The supply lines are flat busted. They're busted. They're not building it. They're not building that door anywhere, trust me. So it's just what's happened, and you're going to see it. It's all coming to a store and a vision in your mind near you. By the 4th of July, reality will have set in this summer. That America as we know it ain't coming back.
The last great party this week. You better get it done this weekend, according to Eric Cederstrom. Speaking of a great party, we got a great party. I've done it again. Another self-high five for me. I pat myself on the back, but it hurts too much to do it. I've got 53 U.S. $20 gold pieces, and tomorrow we're doing the Roosevelt help me.
Drive-by high school.
Yes, the drive-by graduation at Roosevelt High School right up next to
the Rough Riders, right next to our radio station
right next to our radio station in Johnstown. So I graduated high school in 1988. U.S. $20 gold pieces in honor of the Rough Riders drive-by graduation tomorrow, 1988 today.
1988.
How about that?
Well, you got to take advantage of the dips.
Gold's down $23.
Yeah, we got
coming on down.
$10 pullback in the U.S. gold market. So, I'll tell you one thing. I'll leave you with this thought: that the class of 2020 has a lot in common with Eric Cederstrom. I didn't get to walk either. I had to teach weightlifting to the incoming freshmen.
When you were doing the same thing, was your class was graduating, you were driving by.
Yeah, I was waving at them. So don't feel it doesn't work out so bad. Look what happens, you kids listening there in Johnstown. Look, you'll end up owning a radio station. Stay in school. All right, I graduated from high school. I got to play a couple of years of junior college football, but I had to teach weightlifting. They always have now the incoming freshmen, the football classes. They sign up for it, a summer school, and they gave me a key to the gym.
Well, that will never happen again. That's funny. Different times. 800-951-0592. And we do have some of those 100 more or peace dollar bags, those BU peace dollars, bags of 100 for $3,000. We got some of those left as
mini
well.
Bags. These are stunning product. 1921 to 1935 peace dollar mini bag for $3,000. You get 100 of them. Or U.S. $20 gold piece a day at 1988. Buy on the dips, from the dips. Get them while you can. Tomorrow will be the Memorial Day show, and then the rest of the afternoon up in Colorado will be the graduation for the Rough Riders. So thanks for tuning in. God bless everybody. We appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow, good Lord willing. Until then, Patriot Radio News Hour is signing off.